Hi guys, how are you? This is Joyce. Welcome back to our GH live stream room. Today I'm going to recommend you our GH Fast Giant Dipping Powder kits. This kit. The item number called G6401. And this kit is including 6 pieces classic Nude Shimmer. So now for our colors, here's our 108 colors. Totally 18 kits from light to the dark and to the shimmer. So for the highlight of our fast dry dipping powder, it's no need to wait it dry and fast dry. No matter what temperature in your room and for all seasons, and it's super easy to apply. Today we're going to show you these 6 colors. So now let's go for details. When you first got our kits, you'll find here we got our logo printing on the package. It's the GHdip, the dip powder starter kit. And turn to the front side. You'll find here's print the new formula, the fast dry dipping system. For the fast dry dipping system, it's our GH own brand have this new formula. And the powder could be fast dried within 30 seconds, no matter what temperature. No matter from 0 degrees centigrade or up to 50 degrees centigrade, and super shiny. So when you got, you will find the front side like that. 6 pieces dip powder, the fast dry dipping powder, and the 4 pieces dip glue. And turn to this side, you'll find the item numbers here. The G6401. And here you can find it's including 4 pieces dip glue, the base, activator, the top coat, and the brush saver. It's worth 12 milliliter. And 6 pieces color powder, the fast dry color powder. So turn to this side, we'll find some information of the products. And here is the ingredients. And now here is our factory name and the address, the tail number, and the website. So now let's take out the kit. First, when you open the kit, you'll find here with the instruction. For the instruction, it's very good for the new nail lovers when they first use the fast dry dipping powder. When you find that, you'll find the tutorial of the glitter and solid color. You can follow our instruction here step by step, the tutorial steps. And turn to this side for the French powder. For the French powder, you could find our another kit. We got the French powder color kit. And here, you could find the QR code here. And after scan the QR code, you'll find the YouTube link and our Facebook group. And for our Facebook group, it's just like that. The GHdip Dip Powder Nails group. It's for all nail lovers to communicate their experience how to using our GH Fast Dry Dipping Powder kit. So you'll find we got so many nail lovers here, and we got so many shares. And actually we got many events there because every day to do some events. So you can see that here's one of our customer give the feedbacks of using our GH Fast Dry Dipping Powder kit. It's super amazing. So actually, when you turn the instruction this side, you'll find here is the history of our factory and the information. And turn to this side, you'll find 108 colors, just like the color chart I show you, from the light to the dark, and with the shimmer colors. Total 18 kits. Just enter the Amazon.com and search GHdip. You got more information. So let's take out the kit. When you first take out the kits, you'll find 4 pieces dip glues here. It's including the base, 4 pieces dip glue, including the base, the activator, top, and the brush saver. And this kit is the nude color. You'll find 6 pieces fast dry dipping powder. And here's the shimmer. And actually you could call it glitter, the shimmer, the nude shimmer. You'll find these 6 colors like that. Just I show you on the camera. So now here's the 4 pieces stapler. And this 4 pieces stapler you will find here is with the printing. The GHdip is our brand, and the number and the name of the group and the size. And turn to this side is some information in the ingredients of the product. And here is our silver cap with the 3D logos on the top. For our base, actually you can easy to open without the stuck problem. And the flow of the base is good without the stringy look or caking. So it's easy to open. But if you've got ones cannot open, you need to put it for the warm water for around 10 minutes. Or you could, if you really cannot open it, just leave it alone because do not force to open. And here is our number 2, the activator. If you're using our GH Fast Drying Dipping Powder kit, if you're using our GH Fast Drying Dipping Powder, you need to use the activator for 1 time before the top coat. If you do the buffer or the filing, you cannot use the activator. You just need to use it after buffering or filing before the top coat. And here's our number 3, the top. You'll find the numbers here and the top. And for our top is super shiny, and you need to use it 2 times. So later we will show you on the tutorial how to use it well. And here is our brush saver. For the brush saver, when you find your brush get dirty or get hard, that you can use it for clean. And the brush saver, you can find our previous video. You can find it how to use it, the brush saver. It's useful. So here's our 6 pieces Fast Drying Dipping Powder. And here's the 6 pieces, the nude shimmer. So you'll find here with the printing, the GHdip, the window printing, and the Fast Drying Powder. And the sizes here. And the cap is silver too. And with the 3D logo on the top, the GHdip. And here is the ingredient and some information on the back side. Turn to this side, you'll find here is with the bottom sticker. And you will find the name of the color, the city style, and the number, the GH 110. So here's, for our jar is the acrylic material, so it's crystal clear. And when you hold it, you'll find it's easy to hold and big enough. Why I said big enough? Because we find some brands on the market, you will compare with it. And this 10 gram and this 17 gram, you will compare the sizes of it. It's totally different. Our bottle, our jars is bigger than this one. And for the mouth of the jar is so important because when you use it, you need to dip your fingers into it. That if you find that the mouth of the jar is not big enough, then it's not easy to use it because the powder will be easier leakage when you dip your nails in, and the powder will be easier overflow or spill out. So for these colors you'll find, and when you open our jars, you could compare the mouth, the size of the mouth. You compare when you got this, you'll find a seal on it on the top because the powder could be sealed with this inner seal, cannot leakage. So the mouth of the jar is so different. You can see that. You can compare that. So when you got today, later we're gonna to our nail technician gonna to use these powders. Chose 2 colors to do this design. the French nail designs. Use 2 colors. And you need to pay attention, we need to make it straight line here. We're going to show you how to use it. Just follow our tutorial later. We're going to show you how to use these colors to do the DIY designs at your home. So later we're going to show you for this design. And for this kit, we have the events. We're going to have this. So guys, actually got the lightning deals, the limited time lightning deals on your Sundays, the 5th July from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. the Pacific Daylight Time that you will got this kit for only $32 with the limited time lightning deal. Just focus on us. Enter the Amazon.com search GHdip that you will find this amazing favorable price for this kit. It's only $32 on your Sunday, 5th July, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. the Pacific Daylight Time. Just focus and keep in up with our GH. You got amazing favorable price for the kit. So now let's go to see the tutorial how to use it to make the French nail. So let's go. So you need to do all the preparation for your nails. Now we're going to use this color. First, we need to shade the powder like that. And open the jar. Actually, we're going to use the stick or the nail tips to stir the powder to avoid the powder sticking together. Then you could use it more evenly when you apply it on your nails. And another color, this color. Every time just shake your powders like that. And open it, use the nail tips or any stick to stir the powder evenly. Like that, one direction. So actually for our model, we already do our preparation. We already wash the hand and we already push back the cuticle and do everything. So now we are going to show you how to use these 2 colors. First, if you do it on your natural nails, you need to use the balm. If you have one, you could use the balm or the primer from other brands in your home. If not, you could buy this balm pipette because we are going to launch on our dip powder accessories kit with this balm pipette. Soon you will get this from our GHdip. So now we're going to use the number 1 base. For the base, I want to remind you, you need to apply it very thin layer on the first layer. When you apply the base, you need to keep it brushed evenly from the middle left to the right. Every time brush it evenly and keep your brush flat. And now you're gonna to pay attention to this. You need to put your finger 90-degree angle to make the line straight. Dip into the jar and now you need to dip another colors. Because today we are going to show you how to make the straight French nail by using 2 nude shimmer colors. Because we need to make it straight, the lines need to be straight. So later when you dip into the powder, you need to keep your finger 90-degree angle to straightly dip into the powder to create the line. So now we're going to dip into it. Keep that line straightly. Now and dip into another colors and stay for a second. And tap off any excess powder. We're going to repeat this step for another 3 fingers. For this design is super easy to do. Actually, you could do many DIY nail designs at your home. So we are going to apply the thin base, very thin layer on, and dip into the powder to create a straight line. So you need to keep your fingers straightly. Dip into the powder. And another colors. Let the powder stay for a second. Every time just like that, and tap off any excess powder. So I'm going to repeat this step. First, we're going to apply the base to your entire nail, from the middle left to the right. Very thin layer, brush evenly. And now we're going to dip into the powder to create the straight line. And then dip into another color's powder and tap off any excess. So guys, actually when you do this, when you buy this powder kits, it's super easy to use. You can see that every time our nail technician gonna to apply it very thin layer and brush evenly. Every time keep that you will find without any problem of bumpy or uneven. So now we're going to dip into this color straightly to create a straight line. And then another colors. Actually for the color you could choose the color combinations as you want. So now we're going to use this brush to tap off any excess powder. For this brush, you could find from our dip powder accessories kit too. And this product we're going to show you soon on the Amazon.com. So now we're going to use the base again for the second layer. Same, we need to brush evenly every time. And don't forget the parts near the cuticle, but not too over. So now we're going to dip into the color powder straightly to create the straight line. And then dip into another colors. Stay for a second. And take out the finger and tap off any excess. Every time you need to use the base, apply the base to your entire nail. Very thin layer and brush evenly. Don't forget the cuticle area. And now we're going to dip into the color powder to follow your last layer and keep it straight. And tap off and dip into another colors. So let the powder stay for a second. Use the base again to apply it. Brush it evenly from the middle left to the right. Don't forget the cuticle parts near the cuticle part, but do not over. So now we are gonna to dip into the powder straightly to follow the lines you create on the last layer. And keep it straight because you need to use it to create the straight line. And tap off any excess powder. Use the base every time. Apply the base to your entire nail. And to dip into the color powder, stay for seconds. And then dip into another color because we are going to make the French nail design. So for this two color you can find from our G6401 kit. It's the super beautiful classic nude shimmer color. You could combine any color you want when you made the designs. So and then dip into the powder to create a straight line and tap off and dip into another colors. Stay for a second and tap off any excess powder. So every time after using, keep the cap tightly closed. And now we're going to use the brush. Use this brush to tap off any excess. And actually you could find this brush from our dip powder accessories kit. So now we're going to finish the design. But now we're going to use our clear powder, the natural powder. For this powder is 2 ounces. You can find it from our dip powder accessories kit too. For this clear powder, every time you need to shape it too. And open it, you'll see that I use the stick or any to stir it or not. For our base, for our natural powder, you could use the first layer as the base to strengthen your nails, or you could use on the cover to protect your design. As the sheer powder, the cover powder, to protect the design you did. So now we're gonna apply the base and then dip into our natural powder. Apply very thin layer for our base to your entire nail. This part to protect your nail designs. So when you buy our natural powder, you got 2 kind of ways to use, 2 kind of usage. You could use as the base or use as the cover to protect your nail design. We need to apply the base, brush it evenly to your entire nail. And then dip into the clear powder. For this clear powder, you could find from our dip powder accessory kit too. It's 2 ounces. It's durable. So first, you need to apply the base to your entire nail. And then dip into the clear powder. For this clear powder, you could use as the base to strengthen your nails, or use as the cover powder to protect your nail design. Because this nail powder kit, this color kit is the shimmer, so we suggest you, before you do the buffer or filing, to using our clear powder to protect your design. And this clear powder is same fast drying dipping powder too, the new formula. So now we're going to test it whether it's dry or not. It's dry already. So the highlights of our fast drying dipping powder is like that. You don't need to use the activator. Now we're going to use the brush to tap off the clear powder, any excess powder on your nails. Because it's dry already, you do not need to use the activator to dry it. We're going to use the nail gel, the machine. If you have one, you could use it. Now we're going to do the filing. If you find your nails with any bumpy or uneven place, you can use that. Or any parts from near the cuticle. So now we are going to use the nail gel, the machine, to file off any place we think that's not uneven. So don't forget the critical parts. And don't be afraid to use the machine. It won't hurt you. You could to adjust the speed of the machine. We need to use the nozzle to fire off, especially the critical area. If you're using the nozzle, it's super easy to fire off. So that's why we do not recommend you to apply the base over your critical part, or your powder will be easy lifting from that. So it's so important when you do this, or do not apply the base too over your critical area. But if you did, you could use the machine or nail file to fire off any place near the critical part, and it will prevent lifting from the critical area. So you need to file it very carefully and slightly. So we are going to fire off. Actually, you could find, if using our fast drying dipping powder, you do not need to use the activator to make it dry, because it dries itself within 30 seconds. So it could be saving your time if you are hurried to go out. So now we are going to fire off, use the machine. As you can see, our nail technician is going to fire off any place from the critical part. Very carefully, slightly. But do not overdo the filing, because we need to make the nail surface more glossy. So every time just use the machine, don't be afraid to use that. We need to use another file, and you can find the file, this file from our dip powder accessories kit too. We are going to use this file to shape that. If you want to make your nails with fine shape. And this nail file you can use for your artificial nails. We're going to use this to make your nail shape looks more gorgeous. We need to shape that. Use this file. For this file, we got 2 sides emery boards, and on the central we got the sponge. So this file is more flexible. It's for the artificial nails. If you want it, you could buy this from our dip powder accessories kit too. So we need to use it to make your nail shape looks more good. You need to put 45-degree angle and strictly front of your nails. This shape is like the coffin. Now we are going to use this file just like the buffer. We got 2 sides of this one. And this part we need to grind in the dip powder, and your nails and your nail surface will be more evenly, but with rough side, because later we are going to apply the activator and the top. So every time just like that, because this shape, this file with 2 sides, the round side and the straight side, is suitable for all nail shapes. We are going to use this side, the 100 grit side. Don't be afraid to scratch your skin, it won't be, because this one is just like the buffer. And this file with 100 grit and 180 grit, so it's more flexible when you're using it. We're gonna to make your nail shape and smooth up your nail edge with fine shape. Now we're gonna to, as you can see, we are gonna to buffer, and your nail surface will be a little bit round, Don't forget the critical part, because we are going to use the 45-degree angle. Smooth up your nail edge. Just like that. The front is the straight one, because this is the popular shape, the coffin shape. Okay, every time just like that, you need to use this file, this buffer, to use it to make your nail surface more evenly. As you can see, don't forget the critical part. Our nail technician every time just put 45-degree angle and it won't scratch your skin. You need to repeat this step for your 5 fingers to make sure your all nails, when you after apply the top, the nail surface looks more glossy. So every time, don't forget this part. We're going to make it evenly, but rough side. And as you can see, the straight lines you just did, you can make it look more gorgeous. And shape the nail, use that one. Every time if you find it's any place you find it's uneven or bumpy, you could use the nail file or the nail machine. Now we're going to use the brush again to remove any dust particles from your nail. So here we are going to use the lint-free wipe. If you don't have, you could use the paper towel. We need to remove any dust from your nail plate. Then when you apply the top coat, then your top coat looks more shiny and glossy. So here's the point, we are going to use our activator, the number 2. As you can see the difference of our fast drying dipping powder, before you do all other steps, you don't need to use the activator. But before the top coat, you need to apply one very thin layer on to your entire nail. The activator is for make sure your top coat will get dry and shiny. Do not overuse the activator when you're using our GH fast drying dipping powder kit. So we need to apply the activator to your entire nail just like that. Very thin layer from the middle left to the right. Do not overuse it. And then we are going to apply our number 3, the top coat. For our top coat, you need to use 2 times. For the first layer, we need to apply a very thin layer. And every time, just make your brush flat and brush evenly, like that. Apply the top to your entire nail. Very thin layer. You need to apply the top for 2 times. Apply the top coat, very thin layer. So when you find the surface get damp, half dry but still sticky, we are going to apply the top coat another layer. So remember, here's the point. When you find it half dry but still sticky, we are going to apply the top coat to your entire nail again. Here's the point. You cannot wait it totally dry. You need to see that when it's half dry but still sticky. We're going to use the top coat again to your entire nail for the second layer. From the middle left to the right. And don't forget the nail edge. So remember guys, when you apply the first layer or second layer, you need to keep your brush flat and brush evenly every time for your dip glue. And apply very thin layer on the first layer to your entire nail. So when you see the half dry but still sticky, we're going to apply another layer on. When the surface a little bit matte or done, we're going to apply the top for the second layer. To your entire nail. Now we are going to apply the second layer to your entire nail. Don't forget the nail edge. It could protect the nail edge from the cracking. So we're going to show you our stopwatch. Actually, for our top coat, it could be dried within 1 minute. We already applied 2 layers of our top. So for this tutorial overall, you need to pay attention to some tips. When you're using our fast drying dipping powder kit, you need to use the activator only 1 time before you're using the top, after the buffing or filing. And for the top coat, you need to use 2 times. 1 time when the first layer half dry but still sticky. Then apply the top coat again for the second layer. And you can find this time we are going to use our clear powder to protect the nail designs. So it's so important when you're using the shimmer kit. You need to use the clear powder to protect your nail design as the cover powder. So 1 minute done. We are going to check it whether it's dry or not. It's dry already. So here's our designs for the French nail when you're using our 2 nude color shimmer. It's super glossy and gorgeous. So the tutorial is already done. For this kit, we have the limited time lining deals on your Sunday, the 5th July, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. the Pacific Daylight Time. For this G6401, you got the favorable price for $32 only. On your Sunday, the 5th July, 7 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. the Pacific Daylight Time. And for the clear powder, you could be found from our dip powder accessories kit. And this kit will be on our Amazon.com. Search GHdip, you will got this kit soon. For this clear powder, it's 2 ounce. So just focus on our GHdip and search our GHdip on the Amazon.com or join our Facebook group. Let's get more events. So thanks for watching. Bye. See you next time.